Steady, steady. Steady, kids. Come on, quick. Sky. Sebastian, Sintra. That's a boy. Hey, come. I wouldn't do it if I were you. Steady. Sintra. Come here. Sky. Freya. Hattie. Hudson. Come on. First, when I was 11, we got a dog. And at the age of 12, I basically took a major interest in it. Good boy. Now it's better. Yes, I like you. One of my first doggy jobs here was helping at the grooming parlour, because that's what I found pretty much straight away after coming to London. And a few people, sort of regulars at the saloon, were complaining the dogs just would misbehave, and I took in a first Bernese mountain dog without charging them anything, and then there were a few Gordon setters, and I was helping at some of the boarding kennels here. And everybody asked me, you know, for a little help. I quickly created a pack, well, a small pack to start with, that I could introduce the difficult dogs into, in order to rehabilitate them, to teach them to, you know, how to behave, and to introduce them to the dogs who do not answer back, that even being growled or lunged at. The new dogs, the difficult dogs, very quickly get into it. So the pack slowly grew and grew, and more people asked me to put their dogs into it, you know, while seeing that it's not just the walking that the dog enjoys. That's what you can see now. If the dog knows that the owner is the boss, the dog will never run where it wants to, protect, defend, or tell the other dog off, because that's a priority of the leader of the pack. If the leader is happy with what goes on, the subordinates do not have a right to say, I don't like you. And when they try to argue in my pack, that basically is challenging me more than each other. Uh-oh. I was looking for the dog to put the lead on today, otherwise I had to carry it. Now I got one. Oh, good for you, Sebastian. Well done, enjoy it. He always comes back into the pack, but, well, no one is allowed to leave the pack. Yes, that's how it's going to be. You have two options. You either do it as you should, or you walk up with the lead. Yes, so it's got to be you. Until someone takes it over from you. Right, ready, steady. No! Stay. Hey, Stanik, no. Stay. Go and get it. Noisy, noisy. I was born in the Soviet Union. That was a bigger country, and eventually when it broke down into all those little sort of so-called countries, well, I became Ukrainian for some reason, and being a Jew by birth, that was rather strange. I kind of hardly knew my identity. I've always been into dogs, and just did a lot of sort of paid and unpaid jobs to do with that, and that was always my best and the only sort of main employment. Just, can you concentrate for a moment, otherwise I'll send you all home right now. These six, 7 positions, put them together and try to link them. So say if I was doing it with Jack, well, he's not a pup, so say I would move him in the heel position. I would get him to twirl, maybe to walk around, and come in between the legs and up on the right hand side. So it all looks like a simple short routine. So I want you to try and put it together like a learned piece of exercises. You can do it with a bribe like so. That's your twirl, that's your spin, and that's the bow. Oh, stand, bow, nice. So bribe the dog if you need to, but eventually build it up so you can just do it to the hand signal and the word. The training method that we are using now is called click and treat. And the biggest mistake people make is separating the two. You click and say, oh, good dog. Feed the dog once you've clicked. George, now it clicks. What if I make it even longer? So he goes high up, wait, 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 click. So he'll be waiting for the click. What if I make it even longer than that? He's waiting for the click, and he's still waiting for the click, and he's still waiting for the click, and the click always comes.
Well, this normally would take me about a couple of weeks to make it that long. So I'm not adding up to it as I go, no. It's just I spend quite a bit of time just developing the confidence of just coming up, reward. Coming up, reward. And then later on it becomes that excessive stand-up when he's just learning how to keep a balance, because where's that stupid click? And now, no, you have to start all over again. Now he's offering me a different behavior on the hind legs. You notice that? Once again, I'm not teaching him. I'm just choosing and picking what I like and what I don't. Now we were teaching him to go around. George, high up, go, George, high up, go round, go round, go round. Well, then I don't click for what I don't like. I know he can do better, but it's a very high-tech stuff also done on the slippery floor, which really shouldn't be done. So what's going to happen if I move it from one hand to another? She says, I'm lost, I don't know what to do. Don't help. Sometimes, oh yes, I like that. Sometimes the help that you're going to do is counterproductive. The dog will be sitting there waiting for you to tell her what to do. Look. Nice. So you see now, she says, oh, that's a great idea. I just moved towards that stupid thing. Look for cues. What are the clues? You see now, I could be just saying, oh, come on here, girl, look, touch this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just let her figure out that if you're stuck, look for answers. If I'm not giving you any answers, just try something that you can see. Yes, there. Training the dog. And this exercise are much better than walking up and down the field practicing the recalls or heel work. Why? I'm occupying that little space in the brain box, which begins to belong to me more and more and more.
So clicker is a very sort of happy reward-based principle, plus it's very precise. Your muscle ability is much sharper than your speech or your verbal ability, so it's much easier to let the dog know, bingo, that's it, just keep doing it by using the clicker, and the method is called click and treat. So in fact it's not really much different from good boy, here's your reward.
It's like you are unleashing some power contained within, and the dog just never realizes that they have the power to make food appear. So far she's not really following the clues as much.
No.
Look, even though she pays quite a bit of attention, it's so inconsistent, and the hand moves as a corrector, as pushing back, as a navigation tool. So, and the dog will soon get that confidence that when the hand just moves slightly higher, you go into a sit. When the hand moves closer, oops, you see now, I don't know how to follow it. So when you go through the whole meal, not just once, but each time, 2-3 days of doing that, the dog is yours. And then with or without the hand, you can just then split the bribery and reward. So you can move an empty hand and then reward with the other hand. Yeah. Georgie, look, when my hand goes, look, the dog is like a magnet right at the end of it because he trusts me implicitly. Right. It goes this way, it goes right there, he reads it all the way because there are so many different variations of that, and he's been pretty much through every single one of them. It's there, it's back. So the dog starts noticing, look, I just change my hand around, his bottom gets up, I bring it here, I put the finger up, everything reflects in a different body position, because that's how clear I've become while commanding him.
I was working for the RSPC on a voluntary basis when I retired from being a primary head teacher. One of the dogs brought in was Alfie, and he'd been dumped. What I didn't want to happen was for him to be put to sleep. And so I took him on board, but I'm not a natural dog trainer by any means. I was just empathetic to his needs. And so I was recommended to go and visit Dima Yeremenko, the Russian dog trainer. And I became aware of the fact that, because I did a degree in psychology, I was conscious of the fact that Dima too had done psychological studies on behaviour modifications techniques, and he applied those to his dog training, and he took Alfie on and he totally transformed him, initially on a one-to-one basis. When I went on holiday I left him with him. I witnessed him when I walked back to pick him up. He was in a park with a dozen dogs. He's walking with them all and he stopped them all. They all sat down. He called them one at a time to him. And I thought it was unbelievable. Dima transformed the lives of so many other dogs. probably 100 dogs who otherwise have been put to sleep. And this is why I have such a deep respect for him.
He came from the rescue home. Apparently I knew his previous owners and the ones before that, because they were all struggling with him, and well, you can't really say that my training has worked, because eventually they both had to give him up. And then one day I just spotted him in the kennels and just thought it wasn't fair on the dog, so that's how he became mine. And that's been a couple of years, this month in fact. He is one of my worst cases. Just a killer dog. The first time I saw him, he was sort of straight into my face, trying to chop my head off, and I didn't agree with him, so it took him a while to kind of change his mind. But when he did, he's just become a completely different dog. He's a delight to own. I think I'm very lucky to have him. You don't come across dogs like him every day. He does it all. He does commercials, films, he's done lots of fashion shoots, he goes to schools. Last year they tied up the honorable scout tie on his neck, so he's become a scout for the Totteridge Scout organization, because we sort of ran a program of sort of human-animal interaction for the young kids. And they absolutely loved it and were all over him. It's about engaging their minds into conversation, into exchanging messages with us, into playing games together. I mean, mind games at times, solving puzzles, teaching, the behaviors which are not really, dog behaviors. We teach them things like dogs would not ever do in the wild.
You know the reason why George does it so well? One of the first things when he just, his first week, George, sit. When for his first week with me, we did this, stay. George. Come on, Georgie, paw, and paw, and paw, sit. Paw, and high five, nice.
You can say that I was kind of traditionally trained as the sort of old style, sort of stick in a carrot dog trainer, which worked. There was nothing better on offer, and I of course supplemented with so many new ideas that are on the market these days.
It is about taking the time to think about what's actually going on between you and the dog, and then just believing that if you say something, the dog will actually do it, because that's why he has such success. He says things and the dog just does it because he means it and he carries it through.
I'll see whether you actually practice at home or not. I ask you to do this. You do a twist when the dog turns one way, spin the other, and coming out of it, we go into the bow. So, don't tell me we haven't done it.
She loves it too much, really. She's only been twice before, so she's going to get better. And the difference now, she's much calmer.
For the newcomers, if you haven't done walking back, so let's say if I'm not sure whether the dog will, oh no, she will. If the dog will walk back, so I would rather have the dog in front of me moving towards me and back. Towards me and back.
The things I've got to do to sort of knowing Dima, you'd never have got that chance at the sort of normal dog training school. They don't do very interesting things, just sit down, stay. But Dima pushes you beyond sort of your comfort zone.
Ruby only joined us a couple of sessions ago. Can we see you doing it again? That looked really cool. Like they've actually done a lot of it. Look. And that's on the cue, that's on the signal. And did you see the hand signaling and really cool handling? Well done. Okay, last one before you go home today. All right, that's a fun one. George, at the end of your training this exercise, it's supposed to look like so. Right, how do we get there? Georgie, finish. So, this is your starting position. We've done it with most of you, but for the newcomers, I'm just about to link my hands together very close to the ground. So, how I do it, there is a food in my hand, so I hold onto the dog, link the hands together, and just before doing so, yeah, how are you going to get it? Oh, yeah. So there's no other way to move forward but to jump up. Well done. Cheating. the main exercise for today is this. Right in the middle, you will see the picnic area. And to make it a little bit more difficult, no. There is some mild cheddar, quite smelly, that we will put on the blanket. Some ham. And for those dogs that wouldn't even buy that, I brought some Danish blue cheese, so the smell will hit them now, I'm sure. It's only a little bit there. I want to be able to replace that when someone eats it. If the lid is tight, the dog does not need to use their brains. The only way you're going to teach the dog to make the right choice, if you keep the lid slack. So the dog heads off into the picnic, one warning, no. The dog chooses to stay with you. Oops. Tag. I know, it's nice, isn't it? So, same thing again, no. Oh, look, he's made his decision. Yeah, that's good, good enough. You could be even rewarding that. That was an excellent stay. Yay, and reward, nice. Yeah, that's why letting the lid go, you have to be absolutely certain. No! Oh, lovely. Whether she stays there forever. Let's see. Yeah. Well, okay, that is the first try. That's fine. We'll work on. No, first you have to give him a chance. So you say no, and then if he continues pulling, you say no, it's not going to work. This is your time to remind your dogs that walking on a loose lid is the job. Yeah. Yeah, the first time that is good enough. Milo can't be bothered. Hudson knows his game, doesn't he? And little Tag. Well done, Bailey. I think he just knows it's going to be a setup. It just can't be that simple.
You're here.
Yeah.
If it was this good every day of the week, it'd be fantastic.
If you're having doubts, hold the end of the lead in your hand. So it's a stay, walk up straight past the food. Yeah. Yeah, and call the dog. No! I didn't trust him.
Well, it still goes around, and every year or two, people bring up the idea of sort of limiting the number of dogs because the professionals, use the parks and abuse the, freedom of walkers in the park. And in fact, it's absolutely ridiculous because the professionals are professionals. They would never jeopardize their name by allowing their dogs to, to run havoc. So they look after their dogs fairly well, and those dogs are under much better control than some of the single, dogs with the single dog walkers, sort of non-professional, dog owners. And we approached the counsellors and organized the action with, I don't know, probably about 50 dogs running off the lead. And those people, there were about 30 of them, they just did a U-turn that very moment. They say, wow, we don't mind that, we never realized that the organized structure of group of dogs is nothing wrong with. It's just when the dog doesn't have any ideas on how to mix and interact with the others, that's when the problem arises.
It's not bad. Stay. Not yet. I'll tell you. Sit. Sit, Pablo. Not yet. Hey, sit. Stay. He's a new dog. He can have as many treats as he likes. You can't. Stay. No. Stay. Then off you go. There's so many things we can do in the park to just bring them into this peaceful state of mind. They form quite a nice commune. They don't benefit from taking chunks out of other dogs or trying to sort of maintain their status. I want them to all feel equal, and well, it looks like they get it. Ty, the black kind of Staffy Lab cross. Tyski, Ty. Hey, Ty. Come here. He's one of the best trained dogs here, thanks to the owners. Good boy. And come here. Ty, spin and twirl and sit. Big. Nice. Paw. Paw. Ty. Nice. Spick. Ty. Spick. Spick. Ty, spick. That's my boy. Sebastian is rather bright, sometimes too bright for his own good. That's a beautiful tri-colored collie with a tennis ball there. He had some problems when he came up, but that's been, I don't know, 7, 8 years now. He's very clever, he does so many tricks. Pablo, he's the newest kid in town. It's this little fella. Well, doing very well. He is a spoiled sort of St. John's Wood dog that just walked on the pavement, beginning of his life, and he just loves it in the pack. Completely out of character. Everyone thinks of the King Charles Spaniel as little woos dogs, you know, they just like to cuddle and sit on your laps, that's it. No, not the case with him. Doberman was the police referral dog, so managed to blacklist himself. It's been about 2.5 years since, and he's a gorgeous dog. I put in so much time into this dog. Come here, Max. Come here. He's also Max, as it happens. As you can see, he has to wear the muzzle. Not because he actually needs it, it's the owners who seem to know better. Sorry, I just can't really talk like this about people. Well, anyways, they insist on him wearing the muzzle, and I have to respect that. He doesn't need it, he's absolutely, you know, bulletproof. That dog just would not attack a child, a dog, or a human being. He's just really nice, and as I said, after putting so much time into that dog, it's heartbreaking. And the guy just says, you're not the one to decide, just stick the muzzle on and forget about it. But I'm not worried about it at all, because I work with dogs. I'm a professional, and I know the dog I can trust, and I know the dogs I cannot. And he's all right with me. You've been the naughtiest one when you came to us. You remember that? Yes. He lives with 3 cats in the house, by the way. Very friendly with them. Just wasn't friendly with anything outside the house. Humans, dogs, cats. But he reconsidered that all very quickly. This one is pestering other dogs, and he's picking on the stronger male dogs in the pack. Basically asking for a conflict. And it means if I let him continue, the others will stand up for themselves, and I can't allow that. He's just sort of sticking his nose into their privates and trying to sort of express all this dominant and bullying body postures, you know, trying to put himself up before them. And well, in this pack it just doesn't work this way. They're all equal. You can see they're just as happy to share food, you know, to mix together, to play with one tennis ball. So they just simply can't do it. He's intact, never been trained. I've hardly had dogs pulling on the lead harder than him. See, that's what I mean. And he wants to go back, so he doesn't read any dog signals. He's a trouble, this fella. It's been about an hour of a walk. He hasn't given me a single glance. People do not exist in his life. He doesn't register. It's social if you start doing things with them. He's just never discovered that, you know, looking up at people is a worthwhile cause. It's obviously not been. He just follows the instincts, very happy. Hormonal, strong, and dominant. Sebi, sit. Dalmatian, he's a star of the show. He's done so many commercials and films and God knows what. Yeah, just because everyone wants a clever Dalmatian. And we have just what they're looking for. He's walked with us since he was 3 months old. He's coming to 9. Next to him is the smallest dog in the group. In this pack, she's the oldest. She's 12. And used to be such a hellraiser when she was younger. Just taking over all the big dogs, you know, just competing for the tennis ball or for food. Well, now she's taking it easy. I'm consistent and I'm firm, and I have my principles which I'm not prepared to let go. You can see the pack, they're absolutely perfectly, you know, under control, behaving excellently. They're all happy because they know the boundaries. And when it comes to discussing the boundaries, I do not negotiate those. People, they all have opinions, and the Hampstead crowd, being as eccentric as most of them are, well, their opinions seem to be much stronger than they should have been. At the end of the day, that's why I work with dogs. You know, they're sincere and they're bright. And their opinions, they keep to themselves. They react to the outside world as it should be reacted to.
He has a charisma with dogs. I mean, it is like the Pied Piper. Dogs adore him.
Good boy.
He does command respect. They know they can't get away with anything with him.
Max, sit. Good boy. Stay. It's pretty good. Stay. Be good. Max, sit. Stay. And wait until I call you. Stay. Boys, race! Come on! Come on, come on! That was good! Good, yay! Good boys! Sebby, speak. That's my boy. Good boy. Sydney, speak. Nice. Tysky. Ty. Where are you? Speak. Nice. Dalmatian. Speak. That's my boy.
The dog trainer was badly behaved dogs. I don't understand that. No, my dogs are the best.
Children, this way. Good boys. Now it's better. Yes, I like you. Nothing personal, I just don't want you to fight. That's all, and if you provoke other dogs, you will be the first one to get in trouble. Okay. Nice, walking to heel. Nice. Good. Sit. Ghana. Ty. Sit, boys. Stay. Steady.